Good morning, my dear students. How are you today? Welcome to my new English channel. My name is Mr. Yasser Tayar. I am a teacher of English language. Okay. Today I'm going to revise the first term exam. I'm going to teach you how to extract the answer. It's okay. Before starting, at first I want to tell you that the exam consists of three parts: two reading comprehension, and the last one is called maze. It's okay. Let's read the first title, please. This is the first title of the first passage. Okay, film. My advice to you: don't try to read the whole passage. It's okay. Don't waste your time in reading the whole passage. Okay. It's better to read the sentences or the questions first and try to find the answer. For example, question number 1: genre analysis related to within a movie. This means you have to try to find the main points here, or the keywords like genre analysis movie. Okay. As usual, we have to read. In media studies, films are analyzed according to genre. This is the genre. Okay. And while most films will fit this is the movie. Okay, into one of the main categories, others don't. There are, however, certain features. This means the answer will be features. It's okay. This is number 1. What about number 2? According to the text, what does an action film typically involve? This means, what is the keyword here? According to the text, no need. What does an action film involve? An obvious example is an action film where you are going to have some type of battle, stunt, or scene of destruction. Additionally, there are the good guys and the bad guys, and the latter rarely win. According to the text, what does an action film typically involve? Involve what? A message or a conflict or a hero. Which one is right? Conflict will be the right. Okay. This is number 1. What about number 2? Adventure films are similar. I told you, no need to read the passage. Adventure films are a type of action movie, can be difficult to classify, usually takes place in the past. This means my keyword here is adventure films. Let's go. Adventure films are similar to action, and in some cases it's hard to distinguish. What does it mean, hard to distinguish? You can choose now. Can be difficult to classify. Adventure films can be difficult to classify. There is another question. Question number 4. Science fiction movies are unusual because they. What is the keyword here? Science fiction movies. Where, for instance, no need to read. Some films, critics, yes, here, can you see? Science fiction movies are actually part of the action or adventure genres. Okay? The only difference, at first I have to know the area, the place of the answer, then go back to the questions or the choices. Are always set in space, extend over various genres, are based on horror stories. Okay? Let's continue. Some film critics argue that science fiction movies are actually part of the action or adventure genres. The only difference being they rely more heavily on special effects and have unusual settings, such as on distant planets or in deep space. It's okay. This means extend over various genres. Sign that are horror stories, and this shows it is easy to yes. This shows it isn't easy to decide on a specific genre. Okay. Let's go to paragraph 3. Which statement is true for drama? My keyword here will be dramas. Okay. They focus on one main character they have an everyday setting, they often include humor. Okay, let's go back. Yes, there are films, drama, and comedy are examples of this. Dramas are serious films that have believed characters in real life locations and situations. The stories usually focus, okay, on main character development and the interactions between people. Okay, where is the answer here? They have an everyday setting. The story focus on main characters and the interaction between people. There are subtypes within classifications. It's okay. Here, drama are example. Drama are serious films that have believable characters in real life locations and situations. Real life locations and situations. They have an everyday setting. It's okay. Okay, let's go to question number 6. How can some films be analyzed? By highlighting the story, by using a special label, by referring to the director. Again, how can some films be analyzed? Finally, we should throw a spotlight on how to describe a film which crosses different genres and really cannot be put neatly into one category. Okay, category analyzed. In such cases, it's better to avoid a specific label and instead define it as the work of a certain director. The work of a certain director. It's okay. Using a genre for analysis is useful, but it does have its limitation. Again, where is the keyword here? Analyzed, categorized, the same meaning by referring to the director. By referring to the director. It's okay. The last question will talk about or will ask you about the reading comprehension in general. Which of the following best describe the text? It isn't always easy to classify films, the pros and the cons of filmmaking, improving the status of film analysis. So it's better to go back and have a general idea. Main studies analyzed according to genre. It's okay. Categories, okay. There are, however, certain features. It's okay. All the passage is talking about what? Improving the status of film analysis. It's okay. And this is the end of question number 1 or reading comprehension number 1. It's okay. Number 2, reading comprehension number 2, part 2, which is titled A Visit. It's okay. As usual, I repeat again, no need to read the passage first. It's better to read the question and try to focus on the keywords. The writer had pointed out the old lady waited inside the room, been to the house before. It's okay. Let's read. A week later, I returned. Returned. This means he was here before. But this means that the writer had been to the house before. It isn't the first time because he said, a week later, I returned. Okay. Number 2, the atmosphere in the room was damp, harsh, dry. I crossed the staircase, landing and entered the room. From that room to the daylight, yes, the daylight was completely shut out, okay, and it had an airless smell that was heavy. There was a fire in the damp. It's okay. This means all this explains the atmosphere of the room that was very harsh. It's okay. Let's go to paragraph 3. As usual, we have to read the question first. The most obvious thing in the room was the fire dust table. In the center, the most noticeable. It's okay. The most obvious was a long table. I think it's very clear. No need. The table. It's okay. The spiders. I must try to find the word spiders. Okay, we're using the table items as in the center of the table was a decoration. No need. So heavily covered with, yes, cobwebs. That the shape was quite no need. As I was looking, I saw spiders with blotchy bodies running home to it. This means they consider the table as their house. You understand? I think it's clear now. Now, let's go to this paragraph. As I told you again, we have to read the question first. How did the beetles behave? How did the beetles behave? Okay, they moved around noisily. They ignored the mice. They became very excited. It's okay. I am talking about beetles here. The same event were important to them too, but the beetles, yeah, I have to stop here. Took no notice. What does it mean? Took no notice. Okay, it means ignored. Okay, it means ignored. Okay, thank you. Let's go to this slide, please. What did the woman do when she came back? What did the woman do when she came back? Let's go. These crawling things. Okay, I was watching them from a distance when the old lady returned. Came back. When the old lady returned and put a hand upon my shoulder. It's okay. This means it touched the writer's shoulder. I think it's very clear. No need to repeat. Okay. The last question. Which is the best description of the writer's surroundings? The house was falling to pieces. The house was dark and frightening. The house was cold and full of decorations. It's okay. I think the house was dark and frightening because all the atmosphere, because the atmosphere was talking about harsh conditions and very bad things. It's okay. This is the